viewers, this is Lady B Breaking News Channel. If this is your first time of watching my YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and also click on the notification bell so that when I upload any video, it go just give you an alert say new video, so that you go be the first to watch am. My viewers, so e no go cost una anything, just keep encouraging me so that I will continue posting more videos.
Kelegi nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelegi onye dị nsọ marụ mgbe ebighị ebi. Nara mkpụrụ obi Ikonso n'udo. Ma anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị dị ndụ ikikere mere anyị amara gị, gbaa anyị ume, ma anyị mma agaghị nna nke ebere. Ka ha rabụ ndị niile tinyere aka n'ọdịdị Ikonso onye ime eluigwe, ị ga-abara anyị ọbọ n'isi ndị dị etu a n'otu n'otu. Agbanyeghị ihe ga-esi n'ime ya wee pụta, eluigwe ga-ada, ọ ga-ada n'ihi na ị bụ Chineke nna. Anyị na-arịọ gị eze ebube dị ngọzi. Ikonso ga-akọwara gị ihe ọhụrụ tupu ọ malite ije nke ọ ga-anaghị esi na ya wee chigata azụ ọzọ. Anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị ọ hapụrụ, ndị dị ndụ ga-ahụ Biafra n'ihi ọnwụ Ikonso nwụrụ n'aka ndị iro. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị eze ebube dị ngọzi ka ịhụnanya gị niile, amara gị na ọmịiko gị, ka iwe were ya wee kasị anyị onwe anyị obi n'ụzọ pụrụ iche, n'ihi na ọ were anya na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-eweta, ọ bụ naanị gị na-ewere nna nke igwe. Ndụ anyị nọ gị n'ọbadara aka, ma anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka ọnwa niile nke anyị na-anwụ hapụ ịbụ nke efu, n'ihi na ọkụ n'ozi dịnyere anyị ka anyị na-aga, n'ihi na ikpetamazụ Biafra ga-abịa. Ndị ọjọọ niile a ga-ekpe ha ikpe, anyị agaghị echigha azụ. Ọ bụrụ uche obi gị na anyị niile ga-anwụsị, anyị anwụọ n'ihi njem nke anyị na-aga. Ya kwanụ mmasị gị onye kere eluigwe maka elu ụwa, na anyị ga-anọ ndụ wee hụ Biafra, anyị ga-anọ ndụ wee hụ Biafra n'ezie. Anyị wee na-asị mma mma dịrị gị Chineke nna, otuto dịrị gị onye ime eluigwe. Anyị na-akpụ isi ala nye gị ọka aka onye ọbụla anyị ya na-achị. N'ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na eji mma site n'ebighị ebi marụ n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise. We are gathered here that this very gospel that is irrepressible may be preached to the hearing of the whole of mankind, that at the appointed time in the future that no blame may befall us, because the rage that we feel cannot be quantified, it cannot be measured. We lost Ikonso at the hands of cowards. Wretched, idiotic cowards who cannot fight a good fight. They did not engage him in the battlefield as they have been lying. Because in the battlefield, Ikonso is more than 1 million men. The same people that could not invade the camp of terrorist Fulani traders in Enugu, that when the governor of Enugu State came to confront them, the sitting governor in the land of Biafra was chased away by AK-47 wielding Fulani terrorists in Enugu town. But they went to the home of somebody, ambushed him in his house where he was sleeping, and decided to assassinate him. A man that is defending his land, a man that was defending our mama, our idemili, from the ravages and excesses of Fulani terrorists and state-sponsored terrorism. Now we understand the reason why they installed somebody like Hokus Adema. What they were planning to do, this Fulani Janjaweed, is to make sure that they circle us with very weak and idiotic leadership, so that we can be fighting this war on two fronts at the same time. On one hand, we are fighting Fulani terrorists and killers, and on the other hand, we are fighting governors who are hell-bent on killing us for fighting those that have come to kill us, which doesn't really make any sense to anyone. But that is what these governors are doing. They have come to hand over our land to their Fulani masters. That is what they are doing. Anybody following any of these foolish people is an enemy of the people. I must make that categorically clear for everyone to understand. If you're a follower of any of these governors, you are an enemy of the people. Ikonso was not killed during any shootout or confrontation. Ikonso was killed in his village, in his kindred, in the middle of the night, not on the battlefield. Because on the battlefield, there is no way any detachment of any army or any police or any idiot can defeat him in battle. He was undefeatable. He drove the Fulani people away from Imo State, did gallantly well. Ever since ESN was launched, I have not come across anybody or a group of people telling me that their lives hasn't improved as a result of the presence of ESN in our land. We no longer have rampant roadblocks as we used to have. People can now go to farm, not minding the two isolated Dave Umahi-sponsored Fulani attacks on our people in the Ebonyi State. I am asking the Southeast governors and every other fool in the zoo, why was it there was no hoo-ha about Fulani people chasing the governor of Enugu State away inside Enugu City with AK-47 assault rifles? It only merited a glancing mention in the zoo newspapers. Nobody talked about it in any great detail nor depth. In our own land, Fulani are armed to the teeth. The army and the police are supporting them. Every blessed day they are being supported by these people. Therefore, we must fight this very fight. And we are going to mourn Ikonso in a very special way. Very, very special. You know, in those days, when, let's say, for instance, the Oba of Benin dies, for instance, I'm giving you an example that is more universal so people can understand what I'm saying. As soon as the Oba is dead, headhunters will go into the forest, and the Oba will be buried with heads of people. Ikonso is more than an Oba, and we are going to mourn him in a very special way. We are going to bury Ikonso in a very, very special way that history will remember 2021. History will remember 2021, the year that the enemies of Biafra came into our land using our own people to kill a defender of his people. Ikonso was attacked in his village. Opozadema and his Fulani masters cowardly and wretchedly killed a man who was unarmed. His fight was against Fulani terrorism in our land, and they killed him because he refused an offer made to him by the same Opozadema. As if fortuitously, a few broadcasts back, if I'm not mistaken, I mentioned this very fact, that Opozadema approached Ikonso, our commander in Imo State, offered him money, a lot of money, and asked him to switch to Ebubagu. Ikonso is a gallant Biafran. He said no, that he will not do it. Some of you can go to my last broadcast, if I'm not mistaken, I mentioned it. And that is a clear, unequivocal vindication of Ikonso. These are men that fought for their land without receiving one dime in payment. He was the head of a volunteer army under oath to defend the land of Biafra. And these cowards wretchedly and idiotically, in the middle of the night, as cowards always do, to sneak up on him. They said it's a combined team of police, army, and DSS. And as I said earlier, the Ikonso will be buried in a very special way, I show you. Not even the burial of the Oba of Benin will be as remarkable as his own burial, I assure you. Those in the know will understand what I'm saying. As if I knew, and heaven put words in my mouth to alert the whole world to what Opozadema had intended. You know, we are Biafrans. It's about time that the whole world hear about us once again in a very special way. Our detractors and our enemies have brought death to us. And we are not going to fold our hands and just watch them pick up our people from car parks and motor parks and highways and all the rest of it. All of you who are, should I say, conduits and vehicles for Fulani Janjaweedism in our land, I have nothing to say to you. But that thunder you have called down from heaven is about to strike. You know, people sometimes they say to me, oh, don't say what you're going to do. And I said to them, they are very foolish. I tell you what we're going to do, and then we will do it. So when it starts happening, you know it's coming from us. So you will know. I mentioned Ikonso during my last podcast, and that is a clear vindication of that very brave soldier. I understand that a band of very hungry Nigerian journalists have been trotting out the narrative of their Fulani masters that there was a shootout. There was no shootout. Absolutely none. He was killed in his house. He was killed where he was sleeping in the middle of the night, having subdued Fulani terrorists in Imo State. He subdued them. And yet Allah sent their houseboy, Hope Uzodinma, who hastily arranged for a few they call them security operatives, to come to kill a child of heaven. Ikonso Chineke. Before I came live on air, I sent out a tweet that the whole world may know. And it's a quote by Michelle E. Goodrich. And I'll repeat to the hearing of the world this evening from where I am. Vengeance is a monster of appetite, forever bloodthirsty and never filled. I repeat, vengeance is a monster of appetite, forever bloodthirsty and never filled. Ikonso is in heaven, and he is going to be avenged. My God, he will. Shall avenge him. Everybody with a hand in the death of Ikonso are all dead people walking. All of them bang on. Because of Ikonso, what is happening today in Ekiti State is not happening in Imo State. And I'll read it because I read a comment by somebody who said it's only the southwest that is now a bit safe. That the north is on fire and the east is raging. But I want to remind all of these people what is happening in Yoruba land that they do not know. Because of the Ikonso Eastern Security Network, what they are doing on the ground in Biafra land, this type of news emanating from Ekiti State cannot be written about Imo State, where he commanded men and confronted terrorists. I'll read for you. This was published by Guardian newspaper. For those of us who are in the habit of underestimating the sacrifice that we are making every blessed day to keep their land safe and secure, I want to let our people understand all over the world, those who are listening, that because of the likes of Ikonso, this type of news is not being written about Imo State. It is about Ekiti State. And I'll read it for you. We can no longer go to farms. Farmers cry out in Ekiti State. Guardian newspaper publication. Farmers in Ekiti State have raised concern over their inability to go to farms due to attacks and destruction of crops by herdsmen. Is this being written about Imo State? Do you know the reason why you're not hearing this type of news in Imo State? It is because of Ikonso and his gallant men under his command in Imo State. That is why what Fulani people are doing today to Yoruba people in Ekiti State cannot happen anywhere in the East. Impossible, it cannot happen. They understand it very well. And for you to put into proper context the bravery, the gallantry of these men in ESN, they are fighting 3 enemies at the same time. 3. And no army can even fight 2 enemies at the same time and survive. They are fighting 3 enemies, and they succeeded in the objective. As I gave them, do not allow any Fulani terrorist activity in Imo State. It did not happen. They are fighting Fulani terrorists. They are fighting Nigerian army, which is essentially Fulani terrorists in army uniform. That's all there. They are fighting also the police. In fact, I should say 4. And they are fighting the Fulefus in our land. Hope Uzodinma and go. We did not go after Hope Uzodinma. We were only facing the enemy in front of us. Fulani terrorists masquerading as headsmen. And today nobody can say, unlike before, that there are Fulani headsmen attack anywhere in Imo State. Is not possible because of the bravery and gallantry of all these men. All of you, or some, not all of you, some of the Efulefus, those in Ohaneze, and the idiotic governors that we have. The reason why your state is not like a Ekiti state is because of Eastern Security Network. Because it is here. A traditional ruler, the Alajowa of Ijowa, Ekiti, Oba Emmanuel Omokwariola, during a meeting with the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, lamented that insecurity was one of the major problems facing farmers in the community. Are you hearing such a thing about Imo State? Our Anambra, our Abia, all these things are things of the past. In a point, we defeated Mietiala and they went home. Oma is now begging them to go home, that they can come back in the future when the coast is clear. Now, do you understand? So you want your fathers and your mothers who go to the farm to go and farm to be like those farmers in Ekiti State, or to be like farmers, or have the same experience they were having, should I say, or they had a few years ago when Fulani were all over, should I say, Fulani terrorists were all over the place. All of you have forgotten. You have all forgotten. And today, somebody who brought out himself to defend his land was killed for doing so. What Uzodinma was seeking to achieve, Uzodinma and all the idiots in Ohaneze and Yatron and Doshi, what they want to do is to fight Eastern Security Network to pave the way for Fulani terrorists to come in and take over our land. That's what they are trying to do. Some of you are too idiotic. Some of you are very, very idiotic. But in the end, we shall see. Those of them that try to tie our campaign to rid Fulani terrorists from our land, those of you who are mischievously trying to tie it to our agitation for freedom, I have news for you. It was Britain that gave independence, United Kingdom now, that gave independence in peace, I would say, to a couple of black people that they assembled together and named Nigerians. Then, as now, Nnamdi Azikiwe agitated. Obasanjo Awolowo agitated for freedom. They are both from the south of the zoo called Nigeria. They asked for the same thing that we're asking for now. The only difference is that they were asking it from white people and we are asking it from black people. These are the things that we are making absolutely and abundantly clear this evening, morning, noon, or night, depending on where you are. We asked for the same thing that Azikiwe asked for. Asked for the same thing that Awolowo asked for at the hands of white people. Self-determination. The white man gave it to them without a fight. Without calling them, of course, in the beginning, they saw Sikh as a terrorist. It goes with the territory. Had Azikiwe and Awolowo decided to go to war with the British, do you think they would have won? I'm sure the answer is no. Had Britain decided, or had Britain chosen to remain in Nigeria in perpetuity, can anybody stop them? Of course, we know the answer to that. As somebody quite rightly commented, that is the problem with black people. This patent evil that is within us. What we are asking for from the East is no different from what the nationalists asked for from the white man before the granting of independence. So what they are saying, for those who support the extrajudicial execution of people, so had the United Kingdom, of course they had the power then, had Britain then, that they decided, should I say, they decided then to kill every person in the zoo they created and named Nigeria, what do you think will become of you today? That is why I maintain that black people do not reason properly. I have said that from day one, and I maintain it. The same thing we are asking for today from black people, fellow black people, so to speak, were exactly the same things that black people asked for from a white man, and it was given to them without mass, or should I say massive bloodshed, or the mass killing of people. That is the difference between white people and black people.